Campers, out of the water. It looks like somebody had an accident and there's a big log floating in the water. A big old turd. Oscar, was that you? Henry, Zach, those mushrooms are not for eating. Put them down. Alex, this is summer camp, not summer school. Everybody gather around the fire. Get dried up and let's get ready for Camp Oddwood.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of Camp Oddwood.
No. You gotta. It's more than that. It's very exciting.
Hang on. Sorry, you're right. That was an error on my part.
Very lackluster for the situation that we're in today.
Here we go. Welcome back to an exciting episode of Camp Oddwood. We have a special guest for you today. Mr. Austin Archer is in the house.
We got T&Bs, we got mustaches going on. We got mustaches. This is wild. It's good. Yeah. It feels good in here.
This is it.
Yeah. Henry, full turtleneck and blazer.
Yeah.
I got a beanie. I think that
beanie.
Yeah.
Beanie. Yeah.
I got what I wore last Sunday.
I almost wore an LA Dodgers hat, so thank God I didn't, because it would have been a little ridiculous.
I would have taken it off. I would have had you had that glory with it. For sure.
Yeah.
I have a beanie in my backpack somewhere.
Throw on a beanie. Yeah.
LA Dodgers beanie.
It's not like I'm trying to hide my hair or anything. But
oh, yeah, since you finally cut it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's, it was like lamb hair. Yeah, little lamb boy.
I don't know if that's a compliment or what.
Who's that boy with the mocha skin and the Velcro hair?
That would be me, apparently.
And the pretty lips.
Yeah, them pretty lips.
Appreciate it.
Well, so, Austin, great to have you.
Thank you.
Oh, man,
Thanks
I'm
for coming
stoked.
through.
This place is awesome.
Thank you.
I love the clubhouse vibe. I love the BB gun on the wall and the tennis rackets, and you got a croquet. I don't know where we landed on the pronunciation of this, but croquet. I said crochet initially. It's not that.
No, that's
like, when you.
That's like needlework.
Needlework.
But this is it's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We got all the old people games out here. Mm-hmm. I mean, me personally, or I guess I've infected him as well. We just recently got into tennis, like heavy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tennis.
Yeah, I have friends that are big tennis fans, and they always they sing its praises, and I've never really been a huge fan. Although when I watched King Richard, I was like really into that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That was a good. I mean, I guess tennis is getting pretty big because I just heard that there's like another big tennis movie that got greenlit with Zendaya or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I just looked that up yesterday.
I'm super hype on her right now because like everyone had always like been talking about how awesome she is and everything, and I was like, from the Spider-Man movies, that's the only place I really knew her from. I was like, she's fine. I was like, I was like, she's not bad. She's fine. But everyone was like, oh, she's the best, and I'm like, yeah, she's okay. And then I watched Euphoria, and I was like, okay, season 1. I was like, okay, homegirl can act.
Yeah.
Then season 2. Have you guys seen this show?
Yeah.
I've seen all.
Season 2, episode 5. Holy shit! I was like, I was standing in my living room watching that, like, because she was blowing me away with what she had to do as an actor.
That was my girlfriend too.
Yeah.
Dude, what?
Yeah, she's. Oh my god.
Zendaya's your girlfriend?
No, I wish. Actually,
Zendaya?
No. Hey, if you're watching, I don't mean that. No,
in my mind,
my girlfriend watching that show, like I'm in the kitchen cooking, and all I hear is no. Oh my god, somebody's gonna die.
Dude, it was wild, that episode. And just as an actor, I was like, she's like throwing herself through walls and like jumping over fences and I mean, it was a full body thing. It was
I was just talking about it a couple of days ago where I was like, I think she needs to be like upgraded to like the new school of like acting elite, because she's like
No,
really talented.
She went in there with for me on that episode. I was like, oh, so she's like one of the top working actors right now, talent wise.
Yeah.
Like she's like one of the best young actors in Hollywood. Like top 5 probably right now in her age range for sure.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Yeah.
she picks her projects very well too.
Yeah.
She shed that Disney shake it up off real quick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was her, was it True Detective moment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like the reconnaissance.
Yeah.
Yeah, where everyone was like, "Yo, McConaughey's got it like that. Like he can do that kind of character work."
Yeah.
And then he had all those back-to-back roles that were so great. But yeah, that I mean, like season 1, I was like, oh, "Okay, yeah, like she's doing a really good job in the show." And then that episode, I was like, "Wait, what?" Like it just was a whole other level.
a game
of, like,
changer.
you have those moments with actors where you're like, "I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could pull that out."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree 100% on
That was
that.
wild. That was like when everybody found out that Leonardo DiCaprio was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like after
yeah.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, that's the kid from was it Growing Pains?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, whoa, okay. What's his number?
There's a long history of actors doing roles like that where like you can't do that anymore, and probably for good reason. But like, it's interesting because like Leo DiCaprio, like Sean Penn and I Am Sam, like these roles where it's like probably shouldn't do that anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But like, there's some good work going on, like, and
Yeah.
it's like empathetic, compassionate work. Like you can tell that the actor's like really doing a compassionate performance, you know. And so I don't know, yeah.
I mean, I forgot what role it's for, but I saw this video where a director of another movie that he was in was like, he's like, "Oh man, that kid, like, really good for him for being in that movie." You know, considering his situation, they're like, "Oh no, that's Leonardo DiCaprio. He's a young up and coming actor." He's like, "Oh, he does other roles, like, but I'm afraid he might get typecast." Like, what do you mean? Like, no. That was a character that he was playing. He's like,
Yeah,
whoa.
someone with like a disability.
Yeah, so he's like, okay, bring him in, and then he hired him on the spot because he's like, that was you played that.
I feel like I thought of Leo as
That's
just
pretty
like a pretty boy movie star until I saw Catch Me If You Can. That to me
Oh,
was like
yeah,
the first
yeah,
time
yeah.
that I saw him like as like playing like a more adult role, even though the character is like a 16-year-old who starts like conning people and he goes into like his early 20s. But
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
I remember seeing that movie and I was like, oh, okay, he's got chops. And then there was like a slew of films with him back to back where I was like, oh, he's like maybe one of the dopest in the game.
Yeah.
The original Tinder swindler.
Oh,
Catch Me If You Can.
is okay.
Yeah.
The Departed. He was great in Departed.
Oh, Basketball Diaries, dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was that one scene. Mom!
Oh, he's all strung out. Yeah. That was.
Romeo and Juliet. Baz
Oh, yeah.
Luhrmann.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Claire Danes.
That's
like he
right.
brings it. You
Oh
know?
yeah. Well, actually, so what we like to do. Well, this is new to us, but what we're starting to like to do is to open up with a get to know you situation.
Sure.
We have some real hard hitting questions that I think will.
I don't know if I should be terrified or thrilled.
Both.
Yeah, maybe
All right.
a little both.
A little bit of both.
Little turned on, maybe. I don't know. A little tingle in my perineum.
I think it's valid.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Up next, these tantalizing questions from the boys.
Yeah.
From the boys. All right,
Let's get some
So-
tea going on.
we're gonna see where you land on some of this stuff,
Okay.
and we'll see if we can even be friends with you.
We'll see.
We'll figure it out. We might. I might storm out of here after this.
Like, what do you mean you don't like chowder?
Yeah.
Corn chowder's the best.
We can't be friends.
Fuck this.
Can't be friends.
I'm not
Corn
going
chowder
to be
is the
here with
best.
some corn chowder heads. All right.
All right, let's hit him with the questions.
All right. So, over or underrated? The designer mullet.
Oh, so like the cool haircut that's in right now, like where people have it's like a. You know what? I think it's perfectly rated. I think it's rated right where it should be, and it's this kind of haircut where like I genuinely respect anyone who pulls it off and who goes for it, because I'm like you're really going there, like you're really taking a risk there and doing it and committing to it. And I also like people who do stuff like that and they're like, I'm not trying to make you laugh. Like, it's not a funny haircut. I'm doing this like as like a legit move. And if you can pull it off, you make me feel less cool when I'm around you because I'm like, well, you're cool enough to pull that off legit and not be joking about it. And I feel like those people know that I'm not as cool as them when they see me. They're like, look at my haircut, look at your haircut. And I'm like, I know. And they're like, yeah, you do. But I don't think it's necessarily over or under. I think it's right where it should be.
It's kind of like when people would rock the bowl cut, but for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, dang. Like, it's looking real good on you right now. But I haven't had that since I was 7.
Anything that you own, that you just are like, I wear it legit and I own it and I make it a part of my whole overall aesthetic. I'm like, people who have really extreme haircuts and they really make them work, I'm just like, damn it, that's cool.
Yeah.
You
You
know?
know what we should do?
Okay.
We should just own
I respect
like
that.
the facial strip. So it's not. Don't get it twisted with like that
Michael-
gentleman's mustache, but it would basically you trim it here.
Talking like Hitler?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Okay. Let's rephrase that, everybody.
You bring it into the soul patch, and then you also bring it into the beard.
Oh, okay. So all the way.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan tried that in one of his like underwear commercials, and
Wait,
he
all
got
the way?
it wasn't all the
He
way.
did the Hitler.
No, he did the
It was
Hitler
the Hitler
mustache.
and the soul patch, and he thought that was okay. It didn't.
It's like a
look good.
division symbol.
Yeah.
But I don't think it wasn't okay for historical reasons. I think it's just a bad.
I just don't think that's a good look.
Yeah.
I just don't like.
Yeah.
I don't think it works. Like
Yeah.
I think, you know what I mean? It's like
I heard that the
You would have
reason
to be
he
very
did that was
special to pull it
because he had a handlebar mustache, and then to fit it in the gas mask, he trimmed it that way.
I'm always blown away by the amount of people in my comments and stuff who are like, you really pull off a mustache like unironically. Like it doesn't seem like you're being ironic about it. And I'm like, I'm not wearing a mustache to be funny. Like there's a lot of people who think that like if you have a mustache, you're being like, and I'm like, what? I don't grow a beard. Like I can't grow a beard if I want to. So like
Same.
this is what does it not grow here?
In
I get patches. Yep.
I get patches.
Yeah, so
I
like this
shave
is
it
what
and
it's either this or a goatee, and like I
Same.
don't want a goatee
Yeah.
because like I don't need any help looking like a white supremacist. And
I had the goatee going on for a long time, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do the mustache, and lo and
Well,
behold,
hey.
I get a lot of
We made
compliments
you do
on
that.
Yeah, don't take credit for that. Cause
yeah, that's right.
yeah,
Okay.
because we were deep into the stash. I still am, but I just haven't had a chance because this is the example that you guys are talking about where it's patchy. But yeah, usually
no,
I
but
do a mustache.
yours grows more than mine does. Like you
Oh,
actually
yeah,
have
same.
connection going all the way up.
Oh, thank you.
Mine does
I
not
just-
connect anywhere. It's just it'll just be.
Oh, it's just like
Yeah.
gets- oh,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not ironic. I'm not trying to be. I've worn a mustache since I was like 20.
oh, no.
And so-
I'm happy for you that you had a mustache at 20. Mine.
It wasn't this good.
Yeah,
It
mine
took
looked
some
like
time. It took some
I had the Asian baby hairs going. Yeah, the peach fuzz.
Neck beards. How do you feel about neck beards?
Oh, you know,
'Cause that's what grows in thickest on mine. That's
I'm
why
not
wearing a
gonna
turban.
I'm not gonna like shit on anybody's neck beard. Like I feel like a neck beard is like it feels like kind of like a depression beard. Like it just kind of feels like a thing where it's just like you just can't get the energy to shave and like you don't really care to shave. It feels like a sort of like giving up beard. And that's why I'm like, hey, if you've got a neck beard, like I feel your pain. Like, I hope you're
Yeah.
okay. I hope you're finding some things that make you happy because I feel like you're not trying to like hook up with anybody. You're not trying, like, you're just trying to, you're just like, I
just
don't
living
give a
your
shit.
life.
Cry
You're
for
just
help.
Yeah, like I don't give a shit. Like so I'm like, hey, if you're rocking a neck beard, like I hope you're doing okay. You know? That's
He's on
what
his 8th playthrough of Elden Ring.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
yeah. See, I can't even grow a neck beard, and
Yeah.
I'm
I have
crying
like
for
3
help.
hairs on my Adam's apple. That's what I got.
I always have remaining hairs whenever I shave that are just like stragglers on the neck. And I seem to never be able to just get everything out.
Yeah, no,
So-
I feel you. All right, last facial hair question. Because it just popped in my head. That pencil thin beard.
Okay, like when people go to like the shop and they get it like real like choop, 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 and they're
It looks
trimmed
like
out.
like
almost looks drawn on.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was, like,
not
big in
my
Miami.
thing. Not my thing. But like, there's a certain archetype of guy that like it really works for, and there's a certain like community that it really works for. It's just not my thing. But it's like in a certain community, it's like a real fly move, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like getting a lineup, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think I would look good
In
with
different,
a
if
lineup.
we were in a different social circle, we would constantly get shit on about our lineup. It's like, oh shoot, you got waves going on, dog. And then you're like, well. And then if you line your shit up, I think it'd be a little bit further back than you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, rock that
Don't want
mixed
that.
race Widow's Peak.
Yeah.
I was never a huge fan of the pencil beard.
I think it's just like not you know there's like archetypes of people that you just you just like see people and like it's just like it's almost like an outfit, like you're like that's that guy.
Yeah.
And it's like you could like make a costume out of it and I mean I wear the costume of the kind of guy that I'm trying to look like.
Yeah.
And so if you look at me it's like it's just easily identifiable of like, oh, I know a general category of where to put that person.
The uniform.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
and there's a certain guy in a certain kind of uniform, like a black T-shirt and a chain, and like maybe like some like diamond stud earrings, and that's gonna have like a nice little
Yeah, maybe wearing a jersey on the outside.
maybe
oversized.
maybe rocking an
Double
oversized
XL.
jersey.
Yeah,
Yep,
Detroit
some
Pistons.
really nice, clean sneakers.
Oh yeah.
At
Yeah.
night, works the door at the club.
Yeah,
I think Night of the Roxbury, whenever I think of like the pencil thin or just really groomed facial hair, I just instantly go there, Night of the Roxbury, and just all the party club scene people. I don't really do any of that, so that's my only reference points to clubbing. That and Jersey Shore.
yeah, Jersey
Jim-
Shore guys for
Gym
sure.
tan laundry.
That's a uniform that Ed Hardy tees.
Oh, for sure,
Ooh, yeah.
for sure.
100%.
Real like jeans with like lots of like patterns on the pockets and things like that.
That was a whole lot.
True religions.
I will have
Yeah,
to say,
True Religions.
under or overrated, crystals.
In certain communities, overrated, because the people that are really into them, they are putting too much into the crystals, and then the people who shit on them, I'm like, I think you're not putting enough into it. So like the people who are like, you're stupid fucking crystals, I'm like, hey, look, everybody needs something to like put some power into and to like something to like to believe in to because God, life's hard, and so if you need something to be like, this thing's gonna help me make more money, this crystal's gonna bring abundance into my life, don't shit on someone else's thing. But also those people who are super into the crystals and think that they can like recharge them under the full moon and like have a different crystal for everything, I'm like, I think you're overhyping the power of that rock. I think
I used to work in the yoga industry.
Oh yeah.
All about it. And I
Yeah.
know those people that are just super into it.
Yeah.
I don't want to say they're crazy. I just don't happen to enjoy or understand why they're putting so much into it. But you kind of changed my mind about not calling them crazy in that sense, because that's all I did.
Well,
I was like, oh, you're buying 2 Himalayan salt lamps? Like,
he's
come
like,
on.
oh, 2? That's a little overkill.
Like, one's fine, but you think Mercury's in retrograde and having it positioned in a certain way is going to change how life is hard?
You know, and I think there's like a practical application to that too, of like setting up things that are mystical or whatever in your life to sort of like psychosomatically change your mindset.
Yeah.
And be like, I'm gonna, like, if I believe that getting this crystal oriented in this way while Mercury is where it is, it'll do such and such for me. Me believing that and putting energy into that might make more of that stuff happen.
Yeah.
And so it's like, whatever people believe in, as long as it's not hurting anyone else, I'm always like, rock and roll. Like if it helps you feel a little less anxious, if it helps you be a little more productive, rock and roll. But also I'll be like, that rock's probably not as powerful as you think it is.
Stop waving it around my face.
Robert Downey Jr. heavily believes in the crystals.
Oh yeah?
When he
Oh,
got
does he?
sober and everything, that's what he attributes to like saving his life and like his career.
But I killed him in that movie.
I attribute Jon Favreau.
Killed him in that movie. They killed him in that movie.
That was good. That was good. That was good. I enjoyed that.
That's great.
Anything that helps me feel less anxious, I will do.
Yeah.
Anything. Well, besides drugs and alcohol, I can't do those anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
I feel you. What's the most effed up TikTok comment that you've gotten?
Because there's some people out there that are.
oh my God. I mean, like, it's so hard to choose. People just say some shit. People just say whatever the fuck. And it always blows me away too, because I'm just like, I get banned for the easiest stuff, for like the simplest stuff. They're like, you're bullying and harassment. And I'm like, have you seen my comment section?
Ban all these people.
Yeah, like, what are
please.
you talking about? Like,
I'll give you a list.
I mean, people regularly, and I think I've successfully trained the algorithm to get rid of most of these people. I spent like a lot of time, like a year ago, blocking. Anytime I saw people doing this kind of thing, I would block them. And I was trying to like send a message to the algorithm, like, stop showing these people my videos. I don't want these people. Like, I don't like them being in the comment section. But like, it's a regular thing for like conservative people to like their rebuttal to a point that I make politically will be like, why would I trust a guy who looks like a pedophile? Like, they'll just like call me a pedophile. And I'm like, that's a wild thing to just say to someone. Like, and they're like, yeah, you have a pedophile mustache. And that's the other thing about a mustache. People will go like, you rock that pedo stash. And I'm like, I know you're saying that as a joke, but like, that's a fucked up thing to say.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really fucked up thing to call someone. Like, and even if you're saying it as a joke, it's like, don't call me a child rapist. Like, don't don't call me that. Like, and they're like, no, you just look like it because of your mustache. And I'm like, do you know how many people have mustaches in the world? Like, yeah, millions of people.
Is that what you consider a pedophile? Is
Would
just
you
somebody
say
with
that
a
to
mustache?
Tom Selleck, sir?
Yeah.
Would you say that to Tom Selleck?
Yeah.
I think not.
I don't think you would.
I don't think you would either.
And so, but so people say that a lot, and then like sometimes people will just like sometimes people will just like comment on a video of me singing and just be like, you have an awful singing voice, just stuff like that, where I'm just like, cool. like awesome.
Thank you for your
you chose violence,
opinion.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But I usually think of that too as like, I don't know, like I know that like art is subjective, and I know that people can have like their opinions on music and stuff like that. Like I'm under no illusion that everyone needs to like my music and needs to like my songs. But just like from a technical standpoint, I'm always like, I disagree. I'm like, I'm not bad at singing. Like, I know how to sing. I know how to like make a song. Like, so I'm like, I'm not bad at it. You might not like it. Like, you might not like the way my voice sounds, which is a thing. There are really good singers who like, I just don't like, there's something about the way they do it that I'm like, I don't like it.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, they're not bad at it. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I disagree that I don't think they're using the right language.
Yeah. Work on your vocab.
Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Thanks for the critique, but that's your personal opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say it as though it's a fact. They're like, you have an awful voice. I'm like, no, you think I have an awful voice. In your opinion, I have an awful voice, or you don't like the way my voice sounds. Like, you don't like the tone of it, or you don't like the way I make vowel sounds. But like, that's a different thing than, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, all right. Something that was contentious, and then this question also did not originate with us. I think it was on, was it for the Ferdy podcast?
Okay. I don't know this podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that they got big off of TikTok.
Oh, yeah?
Just like posting. Actually, I think this question was one of the ones, but we ended up getting in a bit of a tiff about it. Which, and the question is, which way do you wipe?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, real personal.
Okay.
It's
the
a
clubhouse.
very, very personal question.
Definitely back to front, because I'm going through. So I don't go around.
Oh, you go under.
I go, wait, what do I do? Or do I might lift. I'm trying to think. No, I think I go under. No, I lift. I lift right cheek. and I go under, and I kind of like wrap my fingers and I kind of scoop initially.
Okay, yeah.
Because there's a big amount initially, and then it's So I don't know if I do like a direction. I think it's more of like a scoop and like get off the walls,
a little finesse. Yeah.
and then take a wet wipe and
wet wipe. See, that changes
always got to
the game.
finish with
That
wet
does
wipe.
change the game.
Always got to finish with a wet wipe.
Well, so our gentleman Zach here, he goes back to front.
Okay.
And I
so
think-
let
I
me
think-
demonstrate. Left hand always, because I use my right hand to eat.
What?
Wow, I guess that's smart.
Well, I
huh?
think. And your phone is probably in it
Yeah.
Okay.
because you're like,
There's no avoiding getting poop particles. I think
There's
you have
no
to just
avoiding.
accept at a certain point that like everybody's consuming poop particles all the time.
yeah, it's part of it's
It's
just
part
part
of
of it.
life.
Fourth meal.
You're actually bringing them in when you're in a public bathroom, but
It's part of it.
it's part of life. But
Build strong bones.
I go
calcium.
I go back to front.
So he pushes it on his balls.
That's what he thinks I do. I don't do that because I've never touched my balls.
Dude, you got dirty gooch, I'm telling you.
I'm just my gooch is clean. My gooch is clean because I wipe multiple times, but
Raw
raw like
until it's like a
till
little
it hurts.
stingy.
No,
You know why? You gotta get rid of the skin that touched the poop.
Isn't it
Okay.
annoying how long it takes? Is it just me? It takes
no,
a while.
It takes a while
It takes
until
a
you feel
minute.
comfortable and be like, okay, I'm not. I
I've even
feel
got
clean
I don't know how many times a day do you poop? Because I only poop once a day. How often do you poop?
twice.
I poop in the morning, and it's usually like that's like my time to poop, and then
Yeah.
like if I'm lucky, like what I like to do is like take my shower right after that too.
Yeah.
So like we just make extra sure like we're just
Yeah.
getting it all nice and washed
See,
out.
I usually take
know?
a shower in the morning too, so I'm not
Yeah.
too worried if I do get my balls, which I never have. But
You're about to scrub them down anyway.
exactly.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, the reason why I do it is because TMI, probably for some people, I have a lot of butt crack hair.
So do I.
Well, if I'm wiping it all on my butt crack hair.
Would you get rid of it if you could? I would.
My butt crack hair?
If I could go get it lasered out today, I would.
I would probably
And
do
never
the
have it
same.
come back. I'd be like, no, I don't need it. There's no point.
Yeah.
I'm never shaving
Yeah.
my butt crack ever.
I don't.
again.
I don't
I
want to.
can't-
I don't want to shave it. I don't want to have the prickly.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm like, if they could be like, it'll never come back. We'll take it out, and it'll never come back.
In
I'd
a
be like,
heartbeat.
take it out.
Yeah, I would
In a
do
heartbeat. How much
that,
is that?
but I can't.
I don't know.
I'm sure there's some adult stars who could give us a quote, but
Yeah.
when
Hopefully it's cheap.
when you shave it, it's like two cactuses are given or cacti. They're giving a like a bear hug to each other.
I never will. I've never have.
Oh, it's
I
horrible.
would
it's
consider a wax. Honestly, I've heard people say like it's not that bad. Like it's like ooh, and then it's like
yeah.
The
Imagine
initial waxing probably isn't that bad,
Yeah.
but when it gets to a point where
When it
it's
starts
the
coming back in.
pricklies-
Oh yeah.
wiping with the 5 o'clock shadow in your butthole.
Oh yeah. It's
there's
like
just
Velcro.
nothing-
It tears
yeah.
up the paper.
All the paper's left
Yeah.
in there.
I think the only reason I ended up doing it was like
That's
one
why
of
you
those.
take a shower.
You know, when you're a teenager, or no, actually, it was after teenage. I think I just had one of those moments in my early 20s where I was like shaving my face in the shower, and then I just kept going.
yeah.
You're like, I'm just gonna shave everything.
Yeah, and I was
See
like,
how
why
this
did
goes.
I do that? I don't swim.
Let me just see. I've definitely shaved my pubes. I've definitely
Yeah.
shaved. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but I've never gone all the way down into the perineum and into the crack.
Yeah, when
it's don't
like post
Don't do
dolphin phase, it's a nightmare for probably a couple months. Like after everything was gone, including the back half, I was like, yo, my life, like, this is horrible. This is debilitatingly, like,
Yeah, the times that I
uncomfortable.
shaved, the growing back phase was rough.
Yeah.
So I don't shave anymore. I just use a trimmer. I just,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I just
That's the
let
way
it
to go.
hit,
You just let it rock.
Tall grass.
If I let it rock, it's too wild.
Yeah, I might. Yeah,
I was skinny dipping with some friends one time with some dude friends, and we all stripped, and they all were like, what the hell is going on? They were like, you have so much hair. And I was like, okay, all right. And that's when I was like shamed into being like, I guess I need to trim not only for women who might be seeing that, but like also for my dude friends. Will be like, that's too much pubic hair. Like you have too much.
I'll deforest.
Yeah.
I'll deforest.
Well, we went to Japan together.
Okay.
And we had to go. We went to a bathhouse.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. So because I know the state of my situation, I made a point to trim because I knew that they would.
Wanted to look good for your boys.
I would have not made any comments.
I don't think that that's true because I just think that
Okay.
you don't know what's happening.
I like this
I don't
idea
know
of
what's
trimming to
happening.
look good for your boys.
Yeah.
Like I want to look good for my boys.
I don't want any judgment from my boys.
I grew mine out
I grew it out for the boys. I
for the
graded it.
boys and for the Japanese culture. I wanted them to be like, oh, okay, this guy is Asian.
I mean,
It was really long, straight,
Long
black,
straight.
Long and straight.
that's what mine looks like, a troll doll, and it's just like it looks like Vegeta.
Yeah.
It's all like a taper.
Okay. Yeah.
It's long.
I guess I would have made a comment on it then.
Yeah, it looks like the green
your
girl when
pubes
it's
look
wet.
like Vegeta.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of wipes, we were mentioning it earlier. I literally never leave the house without wipes.
Oh, you take them with you?
I take them with me. This is like my work backpack, so I always have them with me.
I need to start doing that. If I have
yeah.
to poop publicly, I have to deal with whatever the situation is.
And most of the
nightmare.
time they have terrible toilet paper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like that paper thin. Not even paper thin. It's thinner. It's almost
How about
translucent.
the experience of like when you stop at like a truck stop bathroom or something like you really have to poop because you don't do it unless you actually are like
Yeah.
it's happening right now, and
Unless
you go
you're
in there
Alex.
and you've got to go through the process of ripping the thing off the seat cover, and it's like it's so hard to get it to rip off, even like to not rip the thing in half, so you're like gently doing it while you're like, I'm gonna shit my pants right now.
Yeah.
And you're like trying to like gently make the and you want to do like at least two of the seat covers,
Yeah.
because there might
And then the flap goes in the toilet because
whole thing.
it's getting
and it
absorbed
pulls the
by
whole
it
thing
pulls
in,
the whole
and then
thing and you're like,
yeah.
oh my god.
and then you have to do it again, and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna shit. Yeah,
That's my nightmare that happens at work because we work at the same building, and I aggressively do not like shitting in public places, but if I have
That's
to,
the
I'll do
worst.
it. Yeah. So, but when for some reason it's so I've learned this now, but each side is not the same. One side's waxier than the other side. And I made the mistake a couple times. Like I remember I went through 4 of them where I kept putting it down and then it just would slide in. I was like, dude. Every time I'm trying to get my pants off, so then I was like, oh my god. So I'm like, just pants to the ankles while I'm trying to do this. I'm like, dude, this is the worst.
Is it necessary for them to manufacture it with the middle piece? Can't they just manufacture them with just the ring of paper?
You don't need the middle piece.
We don't need them. I feel like they're just fucking with us. Like I feel
Yeah.
like they're just making it harder. And I'm like, get rid of the middle piece.
Please,
Yeah.
You can charge the same amount without the middle piece.
Yeah.
We'll be
Yes,
fine
we
with
need
it
a
because I ain't
donut.
paying for it. So
That's the benefit of practicing kung fu and martial arts. You get a solid horse stance. You stand there for a good 3 minutes, unleash, you're good to go.
I could never.
yeah, I would
Yeah.
feel too bad if I like
Like,
It's
sprayed.
rough.
Damn, spending leg day in the bathroom.
That's when you really have to go, though.
Well, because I also like it to be a nice experience, no matter what. Even if I'm in the public, I want it because it's like pooping feels good, and I want it to
Yes.
be nice.
Yeah.
you know.
Likewise.
Gotta feel comfortable
Yeah.
with it.
I feel violated, though, going to those truck stop ones, though.
Yeah, I've just worked on the strength of my sphincter, so I can wait. I've waited all day at work when I needed to go in the morning.
Why?
Just to avoid it. I don't know.
Were you were you training?
No,
Was that the purpose?
that was what I trained for.
Okay.
That was what I tried.
All right, Alex. You're on your way to work. This is what you've been working all these years for.
There was this guy.
Jesus.
When I was
Okay.
working at Disney, there was this dude who he just perpetually always, like, he was a big dude, and he was always like, he would sweat really heavy after he went to the restroom, just always sweating, and he was so loud when he was doing his number 2 in there, where a couple times I couldn't hold it and I had to go, and I would be right next to him because he would go like 6 times a day. So he was almost always in there.
Jeez.
So I don't know how he got any work done. But I remember a few times that I ended up next to him, he was just like,
he's making mouth noises.
Yeah, no,
Like,
yeah.
He's
He's having like a bad time.
And the
fighting for
squirt.
his life.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And then I would see him afterward, and then he would come up to me. He's like, "Oh, do you think you could deliver such and such?" I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, man." And then he's like sweating, and I was like, "Whoa."
He's got like a health problem going on.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like he's not doing okay.
I think he might only eat meat.
Yeah. It's an all meat diet.
You need some
and it's
fiber
not
to
working out.
help out the constipation.
Yeah,
It sounds
it
like.
was.
It's just
I
got
wanted to get
chronic hemorrhoids
Yeah.
constantly.
I wanted to get him
Oh,
some help for
God.
sure.
Yeah.
So so based on your videos on TikTok, I made the assumption that you might have an opinion on the topic that I'm about to bring up.
Probably. I have opinions on a lot of things.
It's something that I think is recently popping up, has become bigger. We've kind of talked about it a little bit, but curious to see what your thoughts are on the Fresh and Fit guys, if you've seen that.
Oh, I have no idea who that is.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
What a
shit.
surprise.
See, this is the thing about TikTok is like everyone's got a different news feed. Everyone's got a different For You page. Everyone's got different like I was talking about this guy came to my play last night and he was like, "Hey man, I follow you on TikTok and I saw that you're doing the play and I came," and I was like, "Oh wow." I was like, "Cool, let me follow you back." I thought I was being like cool to like a fan. I was like, "Let me follow you back, homie." And like I look him up and he's got 2.5 million followers and I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Oh, so you're like a TikToker?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, I just have never heard of you. I was like, "But like we're following each other now and we should maybe collaborate on something."
Yeah.
But yeah, so who are these guys? What are they doing?
All right. So,
Okay.
all right, it's these 2 dudes from Miami. They get a bunch of girls, like Instagram influencer girls or whatever, and have them all just around a table, and then basically tell them, or basically they're trying to be the comeback kids of like 1950s misogyny.
Oh, cool. God. So what do they tell to the girls? What do they tell them?
So it's like that red pill shit where they're just like talking about like, oh, men bring a certain type of value. There's these like women want to be new age women, but they still want traditional men, and like telling them like, oh,
I want to see if I know these guys.
Fresh and Fit.
Fresh and Fit.
Yeah.
Yes.
You say.
and they're like,
Yes.
if you're not having sex with me when I want that, and I'm paying for all the bills, then what's your value? Like that kind of shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Similar to that guy remember that guy who said, like, after my wife has a kid, if she doesn't tighten it up in 3 months, I'm done. That asshole.
So listen, here's okay, I don't know these guys, but like I have this thought like it's like when I watch the show like Love Island or something. Like I'm like and then we were talking about types of people, you know, like club people, you know, Jersey Shore type people, like like people who have a straight line beard, like would be on this podcast. But like, I got a beef with not just the dudes in these communities, but the women as well. Like I'm just sort of like, I don't like any of you because you're all participating in this, and like you're all like participating in this like toxic shit. Like when I watch Love Island, I'm like, I hate these people. I hate like stupid hot people who are just like their whole life is about like hooking up with other stupid hot people.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like and the women are like willingly subjecting themselves to these awful men, to these like awful stupid hot men who their whole life is about like abs and pecs and like and jaw lines and haircuts and like and just stupid hot guys who have awful opinions and awful takes on everything, and like the stupid hot women that are like, we'll come on your podcast and let you just bark awful shit at us. I'm like, you're all setting everyone back, all of you. You're all like so, and it drives me nuts because these people always get an audience because they're stupid and hot and they're entertaining.
Yeah.
And like for better or worse, it's like everyone calls it trash TV. You know, it's trash TV because you're like, yeah, we all like watching the stupid hot people make out and hurt each other's feelings and stuff. Yeah. But like, I don't know.
Don't bring that shit into my life.
Yeah, I just am like, it just bothers me because I'm just like, I wish they weren't popular. I wish these weren't, because I know that we're a lot of people are looking at it as like ironic, that it's like, oh, it's funny, or it's fun to hate on them, or to, you know, but I'm just sort of like, man, I don't know. Like, I think it just reinforces negative beauty standards too, that it's sort of like, if you look a certain way and only that, like if you just attain a certain external aesthetic, you can have money and success, even if it's for being on a show being a total idiot. Like you can get millions of followers online and get brand deals and and be paid to go to clubs and have bottle service and shit. Like I just am like, what are these people gonna do when they're in their 50s and 60s? Like who? Like, is this sustainable?
They usually get plastic surgery to try to stay the same.
Right,
They never age. They never want to age.
Well, because that's their own. That's the only thing that they value themselves on, I guess. Sometimes.
Yeah. So I don't know. Obviously the men are awful. Obviously those guys are awful. But I also just look at like the table full of women and I'm like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Why are you
You're
giving
just
these
as
men
awful.
and you're making them think that they're right because they're like, I have all these opinions and I smash like crazy. Like, and so it's like you're making them think that what they're doing is right and like you're contributing to it.
Well,
so
what happens is they end up arguing with the women a lot too.
Yeah.
And then like kick them off, but then
they hook up with them later.
probably. But my sentiment was exact same as yours, where I was basically, as you said, like the genre of people, where I'm just like, or like those archetypes. Yeah, that's that community and that group. You guys handle those problems. Like that's you guys. I'm over here with like the cool people that that don't think that way, and I don't have to deal with any of those issues
Ever.
I don't have to deal with a woman who's expecting me to take her on vacation every month on my dime. That's not
I've
my
never
world.
ever dated a woman who was like, you should be making more money, or like you like, well, you like, I've never
like
ever
6 foot, six figures.
Yep, never dated a woman that had like a height standard or a money standard. And thank God, because I never had money until a few years ago. But like yeah. And then like my community of friends, like I've never sat around a table with like men and women being like, well, the women need to do this, and the women, and the women are like, well, you need to do like that's never been my experience. The only time that my friends and I talk about like gender stuff is when we're talking about like the social construct of gender, and when we're talking about like gender roles and like how weird it is that like that certain things are gendered, that we're like, that thing shouldn't be gendered. That's a weird thing to be. But like, and that sometimes we talk about testosterone and estrogen, like how those chemicals are weird, and how like it affects the way you show emotion differently and things like that. You know, we talk about like the biological aspect of it, but God, just the takes of these people when they talk about men and women, I'm like, it's so basic and
It's so primitive the way. Yeah,
it's
very
just so like anti-academic and anti-intellectual. It's just sort of like, well, men are strong and need to have money and need to like, and since we do that, since we pay for that shit, you need to keep it tight. It's just like,
Or I'm done.
yeah, or I'm walking.
I'm gonna find that.
Yeah.
You read the books. I lift the books.
You know what other community is a lot like that, and they're not the same in aesthetic, but it's very similar in sentiment. Is like country music people, like people who like listen to pop country. Like I used to joke all the time with my ex about how like country music is just so like coyly misogynistic that there's this song by Blake Shelton that's called "You Raise the Babies, I'll Raise the Dogs," and or some or you name the babies, I'll name the dogs.
Oh, okay.
But it's all about how like, and it's just like gender roles. Like he's like, you, he's like, you raise the kids and I'll go to college. You,
Oh my god.
like those aren't the lyrics exactly, but it literally is that. He's
Yeah.
like, you clean the kitchen and I'll go to work. And then he's like,
my
you name
God.
the babies, I'll name the dogs. And it's like
my
supposed to be this like cute song, but I'm like, those people really embrace traditional gender roles
Yeah.
where they're like, it's so cute that I got a man who takes care of me, and my man's got a truck, and that truck's big, and he wears jeans, and my man talks like a man, you know, and like, and but they love like traditional, they love like subjugating themselves into being like, I don't need to make money, my man makes money, like my, you know, and it's, you know,
Yeah.
And this is T-Rex, and this is Morpheus. It's like,
That's when they let the guy name the
he's
kids.
named the dogs.
Don't let Sadie get into the Jack Daniels. Else be seeing me with black eyes tomorrow morning. What?
and again, you know, going back to the crystals thing, all the way back there's an aspect of me where I'm like, hey, look, if it works for all of you, go ahead. If it works for all of you to like be in those roles, if that's where you feel comfortable, go ahead. But like when they complain about like the toxicity of their relationships, I'm like, you only have yourself to blame. Like,
Yeah, you knew
Yeah.
what it was when you signed up.
yeah.
You know what you're getting yourself
It's
into.
like,
Come on.
you signed off on this?
Yeah, they're the kids, and I talk about with friends about this a lot. They're the kids that were like the popular kids in high school.
Yep.
And the thing about being a popular kid in high school is that you had less friends than everyone else. Like non-popular kids in high school actually had like lots of friends in lots of groups, and you can actually have like a big group of friends. But popular kids, it's very closed off. It's
close-knit.
It's a narrow lane of like you have to stay in this group.
Yeah.
And if you venture outside of this group, you risk losing your access to this VIP lounge.
Yeah.
And and a lot of these people, they peaked in high school. Like that was when they were at their coolest. That was when they were at their most elite. And they've never really let it go. And they've like spent their life trying to stay in that echelon of being like, I'm alpha, I'm elite. I'm, you know,
Most of the time, they're not.
but you're closing yourself off to like most of the world,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
to,
Especially, if you're that alpha shit. It's like, I'm the alpha. I encountered that once when I was living in San Francisco. We were with this dude, and then he was like, it was for his girlfriend's birthday. We were all eating or whatever, and we finished eating. We were trying to pay the check, and then he had ordered a bunch of stuff for the table. And then he's like, "Wait, I ordered this dip. Everybody needs to split on the dip. Who ate dip? You ate dip." He's like really. Like
no.
Yeah.
And he's like an alpha guy.
yeah, and he's like self-proclaimed like alpha type dude. He's like, no, you know, I'm the alpha, so I had to like, you know, handle the situation for everybody, make sure everybody paid for the dip. I was like, dude, I didn't eat any fucking dip.
I had to handle the situation for everybody by making sure everyone paid for the thing I ordered.
Yeah.
Guess I have to step up and make everyone pay for this thing I ordered for the table. You know what an alpha does? An alpha just says, "I'm gonna get some things for the table, and I'm just gonna handle it, and I'm not even gonna mention it."
That's
not even,
yeah.
That's not. There is nothing more insecure than self-identifying as an alpha. Like,
Yes.
For
like-
sure. 100%.
or ever even having to like bring in such labels into how you think of yourself. It's like, God, like, yeah.
The nerve.
I'm the lone wolf in this pack.
Yep.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you are the alpha of your own pack, and it's
One of my
pack
favorite things
strong.
to do is buy stuff for the table, but like just
Yeah.
because if people are like, "Oh man, I don't know, like I want to get some starters, but I might fill up," and I'm like, "I'm gonna get some things for the table," you know. It's like I like picking up when I go out to to lunch with a friend, grabbing the check, you know, like stuff like that. But yeah, people who get bent out of shape about the check,
Yeah.
Japanese culture, whenever the check comes, that's when the war begins. Because
Everybody's fighting to pay for it.
I've noticed it with my mom and her friends or whatever. They'll be like, they're trying to trick each other into like, oh, didn't you say you need to go to the bathroom? I'm like, wait, I'll wait. I'm good right now. And like this whole thing, and then they're like trying to pay for the check so bad. Oh no, I got it. No, I got it. And they're like, it's like you're about to get into like an elbow fight over it.
It's like
yo,
the opposite.
It's like you guys want to pay so bad, you might not be friends after this. You need to chill out.
No, sometimes as a server, people would be like, they would like get me involved in it. They would be like, will you please take my card? Like, don't stop, don't listen to him.
Yeah.
And then the other person would be like, no, we're splitting it. And I would be like, he's giving me his card. And they'd be like, don't. And they'd be like genuinely mad. I'd be like, I'm not part of this. Like, this person gave me the card first. I'm taking this card. I'm taking
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, gotta get out of here.
They're like annoyed at me. Like, wow, you took his card. I'm like, hey,
Yo, hey,
sort this out amongst yourselves. Yeah, send him a
Venmo for the whole check.
yeah.
You know, like,
It's two evils.
Yeah.
and then you're all gonna fight over Venmo.
Yeah.
Send
They
things
just
back.
keep sending the Venmo money back.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Real quick. So on the topic of Batman.
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 Just curious what your take is on this. I don't know if you've heard about the new Batman. I forgot who it was, but there's like that video of a guy complaining about how woke the new Batman is. But his
what?
reasoning for why it's woke is that he's like, out of the 5 good people in the movie, like good guys in the movie, only 2 of them are white, and the other 3 are people of color.
That's his reasoning?
issue.
Also, that's not true. Like, there's Gordon, Batman, Catwoman, Alfred. I'm trying to think of who else there is.
The mayor was the other one that he counted.
The mayor. Oh, the mayor. Okay, yeah. So yeah, 3 of them are people of color. Wow. I guess the world's really coming to an end here. Wow.
But is it woke just to have more people of color than?
Dude, it's so fucking wild. These crybabies. Like it's like when they like some stills were released from the new Jurassic Park movie, and Chris Pratt was like next to a black woman, and someone was like, had to make it woke, and it was like, you gotta be kidding me. You just like see a black woman in the movie, and you're like, wow, like I was gonna go see this, but you had to make it woke. It's like Samuel L. Jackson's in the first movie, but he dies, and that's how it should be. He dies.
I'm straight sleep.
Apparently, that's woke too.
Yeah,
It's like, come on.
it's so wild that just having like Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman and Jeffrey Wright, which by the way, they're both incredible in the movie. They're fantastic in the movie.
That's good to know.
And Zoe Kravitz says at one point, she says something about privileged white men. Like she says that line. And I'm like, and as soon as she said that line, I was like, oh, people on the right are going to fucking freak out about this.
Here it comes.
They're going to freak out about the fact that she just said that. But like, it's just like, come on. Like, like Ben Shapiro was like, The Batman is a really bad movie. And I'm just sort of like, if Ben Shapiro hates it, you know it's good. Like, you know it's good.
Well, the fact
like,
that fool's doing movie reviews is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then, even then, like, even if you consider that character woke, is it not okay to have a woke character then? Like, it doesn't make the whole movie that.
My favorite DC woke move that no one could actually argue about was when they made Aquaman a Hawaiian dude.
Yeah,
it's like no one could say shit. Like
that was
everyone's
perfect.
Like,
that made perfect
It makes
sense.
sense.
I guess
Just
blonde hair,
remember-
blue eyed guy wouldn't make sense.
But they're just like,
I
oh,
like
Jason
how alpha
Momoa.
he is. He's very alpha.
He'd kick my ass.
Yeah.
Well, he's jacked. Oh,
Yeah.
He's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd let him bang my wife. That's the level of hotness that they're okay with.
I'll just tell you this: The Batman to me doesn't feel like a movie that the narrative is like super duper woke. It's like, like the narrative is about like taking down like corrupt rich people, but I'm like, that's pretty par for the course with Gotham City.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro hates that shit. That's all the movies that he reviews is like, why do you hate rich people so much?
Oh, of course, yeah. Just like, there's nothing wrong with being rich. There's nothing wrong. But every movie we watch has to tell us that it's asinine that if you're rich. Yeah.
It's like,
Which in my
out.
opinion, it's not a bad thing to be rich. Obviously, I would like to have access to that financial stability, but
But the overabundance when so many people have so little.
It's wealth hoarding that's the problem.
yeah.
No, hey, like, sign me up for $300,000 a year, $400,000.
Yeah.
Sign me up for like a solid middle class income where I'm like doing okay and I can like have a house and like a nice car. Sign me up. It's wealth hoarding. It's people who are making upwards of $50 million a year.
Yeah.
Like, really, like nobody needs to be making more than that. 50 million is way, 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 way too much. And there are so many people making so much more than that. And so when you're making billions of dollars in a year, it's just like, you're a bad person. You're a bad, there's no other way to cut it. There's no possible way that you're worth enough, that the value that you add to society is enough that you should have more money than like most the population of the world.
No, like 90% of the population.
Yeah, like just
you're doing something wrong.
Combined, all those people combined, you're hoarding.
taking advantage of some demographic.
Yeah.
To hoard your money.
Yeah,
Like,
so
it's
you're
about
a bad
corruption
person.
in a sense.
It's just a thing where it's like there's like 5 or 6 people in the world that could come together and just be like, we're just gonna like pool like 80% of each of our money into like a fund, and we're gonna disperse it to all the citizens of the world, and we're just gonna give everyone our money, and we're just gonna like boom and like fuck capitalism over and just be like, everyone's rich now, you know? And then people will be like, well, that would change the value of the dollar. And I'm like, well, you know, maybe we need to change the system from being like a game of who has the most to just being like, everyone should have a certain amount so that no one's struggling to pay for medical bills or get food or have housing.
I would feel like society would work and our economy would work better if everybody had enough money to put forth towards the economy.
It's also crazy how the mind switches though, because we have a friend who his mother ended up marrying into wealth later on when he was in high school or actually college. And so then they went from all of them packed into a 2-bedroom apartment in NoHo. Like she was like job to job, not, barely kind of getting by. And then, using a bunch of, government programs and stuff and, like just really, wanting people to be empathetic to her situation. And then she becomes a millionaire overnight, basically. And then her mindset completely switches on, like, healthcare and stuff. She's like, why should I have to pay for somebody else's shit? It's not even your money either, though.
No, totally.
And then
you
spend not your money on something that doesn't actually exist.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So she bought a fake horse online. She got scammed.
Oh, my God.
25,000.
Yeah,
I think,
25.
right?
No, no, it was
I think it was more than that.
I think
it was like
30.
30.
It was 60,000.
60?
60,000.
Yeah.
She tried to
Jesus Christ.
buy a horse from England for $60,000.
Well, she did. She bought a unicorn.
Yeah.
She bought that unicorn.
I call it Republican brain. It's like a condition that happens when you start making more money, and like I can attest to it. Like my whole life, I didn't have money. I've been an artist my whole adult life, and like I've been living on like $20,000 a year, like and handouts wherever I can get them, and anything that someone would give me for free, I would take it, and like finding the lowest possible rent wherever I lived, having multiple roommates, all this stuff, finally in the last couple of years, I started making more money. TikTok helped with that, and just like getting brand deals and things like that. I started, and I'm not getting loaded by any stretch of the imagination. It's just like comparatively, I actually have like a normal adult income now. Yeah. And like the first thing that happened when I started making more money is like this thought occurred to me that where I just was like, but how could I make even more? And then it's like this.
It's not a wrong thought.
Yeah, totally. And then it's like, oh, I've made this much. I should make more. And it's like, and like instantly, it's just like, what can I do tax wise to get out of paying like certain taxes? Like looking for loopholes to be like, how can I keep as much of this money as possible? And it's like instantly. And I always have to remind myself, like, you have more money right now than you've ever had at any point in your life, and you've always been okay with less. And like, you're really okay right now. Like you're really, really okay. Because I still have this thought of like, I need more. And I have to always remind myself like, remember, like you got to this point as an independent adult on so much less than this.
Yeah.
And you actually have stuff now. So like chill. And it's fine to want a little bit more, to just be, because I'm still in a position where like, if something major were to happen, a medical situation or something like that, where I all of a sudden had, hundreds of thousands of dollars of medical debt, I would be in trouble. I'd be underwater, But so there, you still want to like have more to feel a little bit more secure, feel a little bit more comfortable, for a rainy day, things like that, for retirement, everything like that. But like, when people are all of a sudden making millions of dollars and they're like concerned about dividends and things like that, I'm like, it's all just stupid funny money at this point. Like who cares?
You want that yacht?
You're going online and buying horses from London for $60,000
over the internet.
Don't worry about what percentage of your money is going to pay someone else's medical bills. Who cares? Yeah. It's the least you could do.
I mean, and this particular person, she was on everybody else's tax dollar for a long time, and then all of a sudden the roles are flipped, and she's like, I don't want to pay for that. It's like, you would be paying for you.
You hear this story all the time. People who want to talk about being self-made and how they'll talk about it. They'll be like, I grew up in a family that was on food stamps. Like I grew up eating government cheese. I grew up, struggling. Like we were poor, and I pulled myself out of that poverty. So why should I help other people? And you're like, for all the reasons you just said.
Exactly.
That the reason
Because
you were
people helped
because
you.
you grew up on assistance. On socialized programs, like, because you grew, like, you needed it. Yep. That shit helped you survive. Like, it's like that.
It got you to the place where you're at now.
Yeah. So
Come on.
Wow.
Yeah. The DuckTales theme song is definitely on loop in her brain.
Yeah.
Because she has the total Scrooge McDuck mentality. Life ain't nothing hurricane. Duckburg.
That's what I think all the time when I think about wealth hoarding and stuff like that, is just like Scrooge McDucking. Like people just have a giant vault with gold coins that they like to look at. And it's like, what is all that? What is all that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm an ex-Mormon. I grew up Mormon, and like it came out a few years ago that the Mormon Church has like at least $150 billion stockpiled. Oh shit! For like they call it like their like emergency fund or something, but it's just money. I think about that. I'm like, there's just 150, and this is just one organization.
Yeah.
And you think about all the companies, all the corporations, all the churches, all the like that just have just dormant money, that $150 billion that's just sort of sitting there, and it's
untaxed,
and it's a church, untaxed, and it's a church, and it's just like, shouldn't you guys be doing something with that? Shouldn't you be like, well, we're a religion, we're like, we should be like,
what's the emergency?
Building low income housing.
Yeah,
something
exactly.
Like that.
What's the emergency that you expect to spend that much?
I think that I've heard it said that they think it's for like when Jesus comes back, and I'm like, wait, we're gonna have money when Jesus comes back? Like
He's not coming back.
Well, yeah, he's not coming back. But like, but also in their mythology, he's coming back. He's gonna come back. But I'm like, wait, we're gonna have money? Like he's coming back to Earth and everything's gonna change, but like we're gonna have.
I don't think there's.
So if he does come back, what are we doing? Giving him the money?
Yeah, you give Jesus the money?
Yeah, what is it for?
Yeah.
What is
he would be very upset. He'd be like, why did you hoard this money?
Yeah.
Instead of giving it to all those people that died of starvation.
Here,
Yeah,
let
that's
me
the
give
other
all
funny thing
these.
is like Jesus said like explicitly many times that like it's not
Less
cool
than
to be super rich. Like
Yeah, all the
said it,
mega
like-
church people are fucked when he
and
comes
all
back.
these mega church people that are just billionaires. It's like the guy was pretty clear about how he felt about super wealthy people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He would be out there giving out fish and wine.
yeah.
I think we should close out.
So yeah, let's wind down. Give you a chance to plug anything you got going on.
I'm in a play right now. It's over by now.
Oh, okay.
By
Shit.
the time, but I don't know. You can find me on YouTube, Austin Archer. I'm trying to get people to subscribe to YouTube these days. YouTube, Austin Archer. But then there's also Your Pal Austin on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter. And I just put out a new album of my TikTok songs a couple weeks ago. It's called Now That's What I Call a Bunch of Austin Archer's TikTok Songs Compiled into an Album, Volume 3. And,
nice.
And then, so there's 3 of them. And then I got another album coming out at some point this year. It was supposed to come out in June, and I think it's coming out in July now.
Okay.
So that.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Looking forward to it.
I think we can make a...
Oh, and the People Pleaser podcast. It's just my podcast, People Pleaser with Austin Archer. You can listen to that too.
Sweet. Awesome.
Go check it all out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for coming through. We
you,
super
Austin.
appreciate it. Maybe,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're up to it, we'd love to have you again.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
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 I'd love to come back. This is great.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Camp Oddwood is dope.
Oh, thank you.
We try to be.
Yeah.
We try to.
All right. See you guys later, Odd Squad.
Woo.
Keep it dicey.
Zip it up
Dicey.
and zip it out.
Campers, get to your cabins, shut your lights off, turn off all your radios, MP3 players, and phones. It's time for bed. Good night, Camp Oddwood.